My name is Evelyn Reed. On a grim Tuesday, October 27th, heavy with the scent of wet wool and electric air, I discovered just how perilous it can be. Perilous. When a young man in an oversized suit deems your life's work a burden, a weight dragging down his fanciful starship. It's 7:15 a.m. The city sky is a dull, bruised shade, like pain left to linger. From my 48th floor office, the morning traffic glimmers silently, a distant stream of light. My ficus, a steadfast ally for 15 years, soaks up the faint glow. The air in my office is my own design. A precise blend of aged books, the subtle herbal notes of brewing silver needle white tea, and the cool, steady pulse of servers that cradle the company's true essence. My essence, the Atlas system. For 2 decades, I've served as general counsel for Sterling Cale Energy, though the title feels like a pale shadow of my role. I am the company's builder, its keeper of memory. Every contract, acquisition, and patent is a stone I've set in place. Atlas is the binding force. My creation. A bespoke AI crafted alongside founder James Sterling over 10 years ago. It's more than a database. It's a digital echo of my mind, charting every legal and financial duty across 37 nations. It predicts litigation outcomes with 98.6% precision, shielding the company from collapse more times than the board could ever grasp. It's my life's work encoded. He had no clue what he was truly trying to take. The door chimes. Julian Sterling, the founder's son, barges in without pause. At 32, with an Ivy League MBA and the baseless swagger of someone untouched by consequences, he wears a Brioni suit pricier than my first car, though it tugs awkwardly at his frame. He's still a boy, dressed in his father's shadow. "Evelyn," he starts, his voice cutting through the stillness of my office, skipping any courtesy. "We need to operationalize our outputs for the Q3 shift. Let's regroup and align our silos." It's a jumble of corporate jargon, a verbal offense. I sip my tea slowly from the porcelain cup I store in my locked credenza. A quiet ritual, a touch of refined calm amid reckless ambition. "Julian," I reply, my tone steady. "If you mean the risk analysis for the Aerodyne merger, it's on your desk. A 50-page report outlining 17 key legal vulnerabilities." He flicks his hand dismissively. "Overcaution, Evelyn. Data's just hindsight. We're a starship now. Risk is just opportunity in disguise." I jot a note on my desk blotter, cataloging this nugget of corporate absurdity. These small slights began the day he claimed the CEO seat. My weekly board meetings, a 20-year ritual, were scrapped for a dynamic alignment session led by a 24-year-old chief visionary officer. My prime parking spot, a quiet nod to my tenure, was reassigned to the CVO's new Tesla. Julian dubbed my office, with its rare legal texts, the archive. He called my meticulous, data-driven methods outdated reasoning. Each was a minor sting, trivial alone, but together they were starting to wound. What he didn't know was that I tracked everyone. Atlas wasn't just for corporate law, it was a master at mapping human behavior. And Julian's behavior was a pattern of careless, entitled incompetence, aimed squarely at me. The board meeting arrives. It's 10 a.m. precise. The main conference room reeks of stale coffee and unease. Board members, colleagues I've known for decades, fidget with their pens, avoiding my eyes. They're swayed by Julian's bravado, lured by his talk of upheaval and bold new paths. I stand at the table's head, my presentation glowing on the screen, a meticulous breakdown of the Aerodyne deal. Using Atlas's predictive models, I reveal a tangle of looming patent lawsuits, hidden SEC probes, and the structural flaws beneath the tech bro sheen. My case is airtight, a bulwark against disaster. The data forecasts a 72% chance of a class action lawsuit within 18 months of the acquisition. I state calmly, my voice carrying the weight of certainty. The potential liability tops $900 million. From a legal and fiduciary perspective, it's an indefensible gamble. I conclude. Silence hangs thick. Then Julian laughs, a short, harsh bark. He lifts my 50-page report, holding it like a tainted thing, and lets it fall into the trash. "Overcaution," he says, his eyes locking onto mine, glinting with cruel victory. He's playing to the room, to men who should know better. This is the kind of outdated thinking that's held us back. He strides toward me, his costly Italian shoes squeaking on the polished floor. Sterling Cale is a starship, Evelyn. And we don't carry dead weight. He stops in front of me, his voice dropping to a smug whisper. Your expertise and services are no longer needed. Security will escort you out. The board members pale, but none speak. I feel their eyes as two uniformed guards appear at the door. It's a public shaming, a calculated humiliation meant to break me. I deny him the reaction he craves. With a nod, I collect my briefcase and leave the room I helped forge. My dignity remains untouchable. The elevator descent is quiet, the guards stiffly polite. In the lobby, a sudden rain washes the city clean. The doorman, a familiar face for 20 years, avoids my gaze. In the back of a taxi, rain streaks the windows, blurring the city into a smear of gray and neon. The cab smells of damp pavement and synthetic pine. I feel no rage, no sorrow, only a sharp, clear calm. The stings have ceased. Now it's time for precision. My precision. I draw out my personal tablet, a sleek device with military-grade encryption. My thumb unlocks it, revealing a stark home screen with one app. A simple scale icon named Covenant. I tap it. A command line appears, awaiting directive. My fingers move with purpose. Execute Covenant. A prompt follows. Biometric confirmation required. I press my thumb to the screen, the glass cool against my skin. A green pulse flashes. Protocol activated. This action is final and irrevocable. I close the tablet and slip it into my bag. I built this system with a single hidden safeguard, a digital failsafe James and I devised on a rainy day like this one. He'd feared what might happen if Julian's arrogance went unchecked. The Founders' Covenant was our solution, not just a clause tucked into corporate documents, but a phantom woven into Atlas's core. It declared that if the sole key officer, me, was removed without a 2/3 board vote, it would be deemed an internal betrayal, a violation of the company's integrity. This would trigger an unalterable protocol, transferring controlling interest of Sterling Cale Energy to me via the Sterling family's private trust and escrow firm. I glance out the window. The rain eases. A faint, private smile crosses my lips. The starship was about to discover who held the true controls. The next morning, chaos unfolds. From my home office, sipping silver needle tea, I imagine it. Julian, late in his ostentatious Porsche, tries to access Atlas for merger data. Access denied. Reason: corporate integrity protocol violation. He'd call IT who'd be powerless. No one but me holds root access to Atlas's core. The legal team would find active contracts locked. The acquisitions team would see all international payments frozen. I built Atlas as the company's nervous system, and now I've paralyzed it. At 9:31 a.m., a young IT programmer, still a believer in merit, sends me an encrypted text. NYSE has halted trading. At 11:45 a.m., Andrew Miller, head of the Sterling Trust law firm, calls, his voice tight. Evelyn, what's happening? The Founders' Covenant, Andrew. I reply evenly. Section 4, subsection B. I hang up, picturing the frantic calls, the desperate search through archives, the moment Andrew finds the clause and feels dread settle in. At 2:27 p.m. my doorbell rings. It's Julian, soaked, his Brioni suit ruined, his face a mask of fury. What did you do? He shouts, shoving past into my foyer. The company's frozen. The stock's halted. You're ruining everything. I'm not the one who chased a fraudulent merger, I say, walking to my study. I sit at my desk, gesturing to the chair across. He stands trembling with rage. He pleads, threatens, demands, a predictable spiral. I let him burn out. When he finally slumps, defeated, I sip my tea. Your father was a visionary, Julian. I say, my voice soft but firm. He built an empire on caution, data, and honor. But he wasn't blind. He saw your flaws, your ego, your hunger for shortcuts. I turn my laptop toward him, showing the Founders' Covenant signature page, his father's authenticated mark glowing from a decade ago. What is this? He whispers, voice faint. Your father's safeguard, I reply. His face is a study in dawning horror. The slow collapse of a world he thought was his by right. He's realizing the company isn't his plaything, it's a stronghold, and his father entrusted me with the key. He valued integrity over lineage. I continue, my words deliberate. He feared someone would prize their ego over his legacy. He was right. This system wasn't built to ruin the company, Julian. It was built to protect it from you. His face drains of color, replaced by the pallor of utter defeat. The boy who fancied himself a king has been outmaneuvered by a ghost. 2 days later, I enter the boardroom not as a dismissed employee, but as the majority shareholder. I take the head of the table. Julian sits, diminished, a shadow of the man who ousted me. The board regards me with wary reverence. My first act as chairwoman isn't to fire him. That's too easy, too kind. Ladies and gentlemen, I declare, my voice clear in the hushed room. My first order is a full forensic audit of all discretionary spending and third-party contracts under Mr. Sterling's tenure. I glance at the screen, where Atlas displays a web of linked accounts and shell companies, already flagging irregularities. I meet Julian's eyes. He looks away, knowing what Atlas will uncover. The sham contracts to his college friends, the payments to his girlfriend's non-existent PR firm, the millions diverted to fuel his starship delusion. I mapped every secret because I drew the blueprint. The audit takes less than a week. The board unanimously votes to terminate Julian for cause, stripping his golden parachute. His disgrace is complete, his career in ruins. On my first day as chairwoman and CEO of Sterling Cale Energy, the 48th floor is quiet. It's mine now. My office is untouched, my ficus standing guard. I unlock my credenza, retrieve my porcelain teacup, and brew silver needle tea. Its aroma erasing the last traces of Julian's cheap cologne and failure. My final act is symbolic. The main conference room, where I was humiliated, is now the James Sterling Founder's room. I hold a bronze plaque, its inscription my own. Integrity is the only asset that cannot be purchased. It must be guarded at all costs. I sign the first executive order with my 1940s Pelican fountain pen, reserved for moments of true weight. My mind's eye pulls back. I stand alone in the vast office, city lights sparkling below. I didn't just reclaim my role. I seized the realm. It's a kingdom now governed by order, memory, and the quiet, unyielding strength of a vow honored. The satisfaction isn't loud or fiery. It's a deep, warm, profoundly personal hum. The perfect, silent precision of a system working exactly as intended.